Good evening and happy Thursday. I hope everybody has had a good week thus far. I know I have. Been on vacation all week. Had a nice little camp out earlier this week that, would have been a better camp out if it didn't storm and we get capsized and overturned in a canoe. But other than that, it was a nice near-death experience, but we didn't die. We got beat up a little bit. Got some bruises, but that's right. That's what a float trip's for, right? So, welcome to the stream. If any of you are new here, I'm Parko the Viking. I am a multi-content streamer, I guess is I got one beard hair that's just poking straight out. I'm a multi-content streamer. I found out that that's the term for what I do. I've just been calling myself a jackass, but it is the party hair. It is absolutely the party hair, and yes, we have all the bruises. Nev, congrats on the new laptop. Hope it's a good one. Hope it works out for you. This light seems to be, I don't know, a light on the for the stream doesn't, for the painting part doesn't seem to be. This thing is beefier than the new PC. Yeah. So the thanks for the love for the studio. As you can see, I got some acoustic panels up. I've got some right above my head on all the walls. I know you guys last week said it wasn't echoey, but it sounds echoey to me, so I'm just trying to cut down on that a little bit. So, but yeah. Congrats on the new laptop. I'm beefier than the PC. That's saying something. So, last week, we added a lot of rust to the speeder. Now, the rust there's a plan for the rust, but the more I sat here and looked at it, there are a lot of things about this paint job that I don't. Hey, Drinyari, welcome in. A lot of things about this paint job that I'm not loving. Right? I don't love the purple on the cockpit, and I think one of the reasons I don't love it is because it started off as blue, and then I shifted gears and went purple. I also don't love that some of these things aren't super well glued in, but that's what I get for gluing things in after 4 shots of Malort and a bunch of whiskey. So the purple doesn't really look purple, right? The purple really looks dark everywhere except on this one side. This side it looks purple. I also don't really love the blue in the shadow. So what we're going to do tonight, one of the things that I tell people all the time about painting is it's plastic, just repaint it, right? It's not rocket science. There are some things that I really like, though. I really like the bumper sticker that I did last week. I really like the flag on the front, and I really liked the caution spots. So what I did was I masked off the things that I loved. I have a couple other things that I really like. I really like this dark silver and the rust that I got on the gun barrels. But that's 2 colors. That's nothing. I also, one of the reasons why I'm excited to redo this is I picked up a new oil. God, that's a shiny tube. It's shiny in person too. Abteilung. I can't speak German. But it's verdigris. It's copper oxide patina. So we're going to use that a little bit, and then we've got our brown as well. But the thing that I was always intending to do, and that you guys were going to get to see tonight, and one of the reasons why I'm okay with just redoing some of this stuff, is to the big parts the big rusty spots. I've applied, where is it? I know it's on you. It's out here somewhere. Maybe it's not. I applied some Vallejo chipping medium. So since I was going to have to use the airbrush to go over those spots anyway, I figured I would just use the airbrush and go over the whole thing. And then, like I said, I masked off the stuff that took a long time to paint, a lot of freehand. And yeah, so we'll just get to it, and then we'll do the chipping. We'll redo the couple panels that are going to get painted over. We'll repaint the cockpit. I'll be able to do the windows a little bit more justice than what they are right now. And anything else like the gun barrels and stuff, we'll just redo. We are not, though, redoing the bottom. I really like how the bottom is turning out. So we're just going to focus on the top. So. And I am using the airbrush just because it's faster and will give us a more even coat. And the airbrush for the chipping medium is really important anyway, so. And just like that, the stuff I didn't love is gone. How often do you find yourself rethinking an approach to painting a Mini and need to redo something? Not super often. I think the biggest issue with this is twofold. One, I didn't have a clear plan. I'm cleaning out my airbrush at the moment, so I didn't have a super clear plan when I started this Mini, other than I wanted to incorporate Pride colors. Two, the blue wash just, it didn't work at all. And unfortunately, the blue wash was over so much of it that it wasn't going back and just touching up a piece. It was, I mean, it was literally an all-over wash. So it was really difficult at that point to say, I'm going to go ahead and just touch up a couple spots. If it would have been the couple of spots that I didn't like the cockpit, I would have been okay with doing that by hand, but that blue was just everywhere, and I just didn't love it. I don't know what it was about it. It just, instead of looking grimy, which was my intention, it looked forced. And since the big rust spots where I'm using the chipping medium kind of require the airbrush anyway, now I can go in and hit just a spot with the airbrush, but then I would have had to try to replicate the blue that I didn't love, and it just made more sense because there were too many things that I would have to touch up. It just made more sense to mask off the things I really like and just re-hit it with the airbrush, if that makes any sense. TDDAB Gamers 12, hello, welcome in, first time chatter. Hope you enjoy your time here. I'm just cleaning out the airbrush real quick. Otherwise, it will absolutely be clogged on me the next time I go to use it. So, plus, it gives time for that paint to dry that I just brushed on, and gives time for a bourbon. Yeah, so that's kind of what it is, Drinyari. It was a combination of needing to use the airbrush anyway, not being super happy with the blue oil wash, or the purple, and it ended up being what was going to take more time, repainting the things that I did like, or trying to mimic the stuff I didn't like. And I decided it was going to be easier to fix the things that I did like as opposed to the stuff that I didn't. So that is a really, really drawn out way of saying that I was being lazy and the airbrush was the easiest way. But like I said, I was able to save the stuff that I really did like. The bourbon tonight is Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. It is 120 proof, batch A122. Oh, hey, Travis. A122, if anybody cares, is it's essentially the barrel that it came out of. So the other thing, I would have been really, really sad if I would have had to completely redo all the freehand that I did last week that Nevin did not get to see, and it's his Airspeeder. So the first thing we're going to show Nevin, see if I can get really zoomed in here. Doesn't show up great, but you got a bumper sticker on the back that says "Love is Love." So you got that. It's a lot. It looks a lot better in person than it does. Ooh, and you know what? I'm going to peel this front piece off off camera, so you can't see it till it's completely peeled. I have to use my tweezers to do the peeling though, because Friday night I cut the tip of my thumb off on a mandolin slicer. So, and the tip of the thumb is still rather sensitive, sore. You have the entire pride flag on the front of your Airspeeder. So, there you go. If this doesn't piss off the redneck brigade that you play with, I don't know what will. But you have the entire pride flag on the front of your speeder. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, the Love is Love looks really, really good in person. And they're in the trans flag colors. It's just, it's so hard to make that out. And, this is a good camera. This is, a 4K camera, but it's still really, really hard to make that out. But trust me, you got Love is Love on the back there. So, all right, let's start doing. Let's go. Let's put this way somewhere. Let's go with the purple first. Man, I put a lot of purple on my wet palette, and I don't need to. Yeah, Drenyard, that hurt quite a bit. I went running, and this is almost a week later. It's all healed up, right? It's not, it just, it is still really sensitive. Apparently you have a lot of nerve endings in the tip of your thumb. I went running through the house with my thumb in my mouth like a toddler, yelling Band-Aid, Band-Aid, Band-Aid as I went running through the house. It took, it took 4 hours for it to stop bleeding. And then all day Saturday, anytime I hit my thumb on anything, it would immediately start bleeding again. Is what it is. I'm an idiot. I know I'm an idiot. That is what it is. So, you know what? While we're doing this, let's put a little bit of brown oil over here, because we do want some of the oil to evaporate a little bit. And some of this new verdigris. Man, that's such a cool looking color. Burned the tip of my thumb and the throbbing didn't let up for days. Yeah, it's like, we've got multiple dogs, so putting them on the leash, and I'm right-handed, so it's, flip the little leash thing with my thumb, and I can't do that. Every time earlier I picked up this speeder. Earlier today, I picked up the speeder just to turn it, and I stabbed the end of my thumb with the ground buzzer and sent waves of pain. Are you legally not allowed to play Star Wars music during this? That is correct. You're legally not allowed to play anything that is copyrighted. This is that. It's really hard to see with the metal. Trust me, the verdigris color is very, very pretty. I wonder if I move the lights, up or down? Down? If you'd be able to see it a little bit better. Anyway, it's the color of the Statue of Liberty. So. Alright. Purple. Yeah, Youth Mirror, by the way, welcome in. You can't play any copyrighted music on stream. Otherwise, you get hit with a copyright claim. And enough copyright claims, you lose the ability to stream on Twitch. So I use a service called Pretzel Rocks, and it is all royalty-free music that can be used on YouTube and Twitch, so you don't get hit with the copyright claims. Now, it's funny, though. I could play, like, Mozart, stuff like that, because the copyright doesn't exist. It doesn't matter who the, Yeah, I could even play Yo-Yo Ma playing Mozart, and there'd still be no copyright claim, because the music itself, Mozart's music, is in the public domain. So it doesn't care about the who performs it. Cares about the actual music. So like no singing happy birthday on here, but I think in a couple of years I'd be able to play like the song from early Disney stuff, because that's all going to be Disney's going to sue Florida and win, but for at least a period of time the Disney stuff will be in the public domain, at least some of it. Stuff from like Fantasia. In order for Star Wars to hit the public domain, I think public domain is 50 years? So soon. Came out the year I was born and I just turned 45, so. This cockpit is probably the most detailed work I'm going to do tonight, because all of these little windows are beveled. And so I'm trying to get inside of the bevel. Let's get a bourbon. Let's take a bourbon break. Oh, happy birthday is legal now? Oh, yeah. Disney's going to sue Florida and win. I don't care how many lawyers the state of Florida has. Disney has more. Bourbon is so much better than the Malort from last week. That was foul. That was, ugh. Yeah. I almost had to deal with the Disney attorneys once upon a time. So, and I ended up just not asking permission, because I figured it was better to ask forgiveness than ask for permission. But when I was a Cub Scout leader, one of the things our Cub Scout pack did was, when the den moved from Cub Scouts to Weeblos, they had the opportunity to take a den name instead of a den number. So we were Den 11. The boys decided that when they could choose a name, that they wanted to be Rogue Squadron. And that was right around the time that Disney bought bought Lucas. So you used to be able to buy officially, I guess licensed isn't the term, because George Lucas didn't make you license anything. George Lucas was always, as long as you're not making money on it, you can do it. So you used to be able to go on and buy Cub Scout and Boy Scout patches that had Star Wars stuff on it. Like, you could legally, at one point in time, buy, it would have been patrol names for Boy Scouts, but you could buy patches that had things like Rogue Squadron or whatever you wanted on it, because, like I said, George Lucas didn't care as long as you weren't profiting. George Lucas pretty much let you do anything. That's why there were all those, thousands of fan movies on YouTube around Star Wars before Disney bought out Lucasfilm. The company that I had ordered them from sent me an email and said that they had received a cease and desist from Disney that they were no longer able to produce these patches. So I, being the crafty asshole that I am, made my own patches with the Rogue Squadron logo on it. Fortunately, a little Cub Scout den in the middle of nothing, Missouri, Disney didn't care about us, and we weren't making money on it. It's not like we were producing them. There were a total of 10 patches, maybe 12 if you include 2 adults, but a dozen patches made that were sewn onto Cub Scout uniforms. No way Disney would want the bad press of suing a Cub Scout pack. So good hydration. Thank you for the hydrate redemption. Yeah, I took my chance and said, what's the worst that's going to happen? Disney's going to tell us to remove them from the uniform. Speaking of pop culture, have any of you guys started watching Sandman on Netflix yet? It is so good. We're 3 or 4 episodes in. Whew, it's fantastic. I'm not sure where they found an actor to essentially that looks exactly like Neil Gaiman, but they essentially did. I think that's hilarious. But yeah, Sandman is so unbelievably good. A couple interesting deviations that they had to take to keep from upsetting their DC overlords, but I appreciate some of the changes they made because they work. So yeah, I love that they didn't make it a real fight. I read today, though, that they changed Constantine to Joanna Constantine because HBO Max has a Constantine show in the works, and it'll be John Constantine. The only thing I hope is that they recast Matt Ryan to play John Constantine because he was fantastic. And I mean, anytime we can get a little bit more Jenna Coleman and things, I'm not upset. So. Yeah, I don't know. I read that it was that very specifically Netflix had to make it Joanna Constantine because of the HBO Max Constantine that's coming out. And they didn't want it to be the same character because this Sandman is not being marketed as a DC production. Like, it's not part of the DCEU, so... Yeah, some things are going to have to be toned down from the comic book because Neil Gaiman has a rather fucked up mind. So... But Neil Gaiman did give us what might be my favorite episode of Doctor Who. And I'm a big fan of American Gods. And Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology is also fantastic. Ready for House of the Dragon? Yeah, we got House of Dragon in 10 days. We've got... Good Omens is Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. Let's see, we got House of the Dragon in 10 days. We've got She-Hulk this week. Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology is really, really good because what he did was he took the Eddas and turned them into easy-to-read short stories. Yeah, we've got Lord of the Rings soon. Those are the ones I know of. Yeah, Stardust is very good. I just saw... Did I just see that Stardust just had its 25th anniversary? I don't know, it was a big anniversary for Stardust. And yeah, that's Neil Gaiman. Ugh. Yeah, I think Andor is going to be, like Mushy just said, it's supposed to be darker. It's supposed to be closer in tone to Rogue One than the other Star Wars series. Which they can do since they brought over the Netflix Marvel stuff. So, now you've got that, I don't want to call it the dark area of Disney Plus, but that's what it is. You've got a darker area of Disney Plus where you've got these damn near TVMA and up TV shows. Oh, and I heard, I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard Prey on Hulu, which is the Predator prequel, where it's like the very first time Predator comes to Earth. I've heard that's really good. Even if you're not a fan of the Predator stuff. I've heard that. Oop, dropping stuff. I've heard that's a really, really good movie. Just I think it's a movie. Yeah, it's almost completely indigenous because it's supposed to be like the Predator. Like, I don't know if it's like First Nations or if it's supposed to be even older than that, but it's way back. The speeder gets to fight alongside Cassian. That's pretty awesome. My plan is to get the painting done tonight and get it shipped off to you tomorrow or Saturday, depending on how long it takes for the oils to dry. I don't want to send it to you if anything's still wet. Hope everybody's enjoying themselves sitting here chatting about movies, TV shows, and watching me paint windows. I know Nev's getting ready for work, but still. Hey Muir, when does your oldest leave for college? Just chilling with us right now. Well, we're glad you're chilling with us. That's done. How dry is this? Dry enough? Well, let's find out if it's dry enough. I'll also find out if I did the crackle medium or chipping medium right. Yep, there we go. Don't want to use that brush though. That brush is giving color. There we go. That's what I wanted. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted it to do, so I wanted rust, and I wanted it to look like it's been damaged some. Let me grab that so you guys can see what I'm using. So I'm using this. It's by Vallejo. It's literally called chipping medium. So the rust that I painted last week, that I painted really heavy, because as you can see, the chipping medium is not precise. I mean, you saw it's just scrubby, 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 and some will come off. So it's not very precise, so you've really got to lay it down thick. So you lay this down, you do the base coat, the dark color underneath, and it works really, really well if it's dark underneath and then light on top. Then you, once that's completely dry, you put down fairly thick coat of the chipping medium. You can do it either with the brush or with an airbrush. I did it using a brush. And then you go with a contrasting color over the top, which is why I said I was going to have to do it anyway. And it works best if you use the airbrush, because then you get a very clean coat of the contrasting color on top. Now, don't do it with a good brush. It will destroy your brush. I mean, this is it. This is what that brush looks like now. And that is now my chipping medium brush. So, yeah, I need some new cheap brushes on top of the new brushes. But yeah, don't ever use a good brush to do that, because that brush there's no saving that brush from here on out. So, but yeah, so that's what it does. So you can see we got it up here on the top. We got quite a bit down here, but that was a really big panel, and then we got some over here as well. And then we're going to follow that up with some brown wash, some brown oil wash to give kind of a rust effect. We're also going to follow that up with some of the verdigris wash, as well. But let's go ahead and hit those red panels just to get them red again. And where's my Tamiya? There's going to be lots of bubble wrap when I send this back. Because some of these pieces they don't like staying on. I've had to glue this panel back down a couple of times. This panel, this is the first time it's come off, but still. Yeah, I really like the chipping medium. It's neat stuff. I wish I could get it locally in a bigger bottle than the 17 millimeter or milliliter, but they didn't have it today, so we settled for what they got. And I can order it, so it's not that big of a deal. I just want to kind of bring the brightness of these panels back up. Start to go cross-eyed if you stare at these things long enough, though. So how's everybody's week been? Anybody doing anything cool this week, or is it just work and school? Board Game League. Nice. No, don't you fall off there. Stay. What board game are you playing in your league? I have not played either of those. I'll have to check. Well, I mean, I'll check Dice Throne out. If you don't find Libertalia fun, then I'm probably not going to find Libertalia fun, so not a whole lot of point in checking that out. Dry. And let's work on the gun barrels. Dice Throne is basically Battle Yahtzee. Oh, there you go. I like Yahtzee. So Battle Yahtzee would be right up. So what's that? Just head-to-head Yahtzee, I guess. You have a player board with different attacks and abilities. You roll dice. Oh, nice. Yeah, that sounds like fun. If you buy everything there are 24 different characters. 8 of them are Marvel from... Nice. Marvel from their latest box. Yeah, Travis, Yahtzee's a great game. It's a classic. I'm a big fan. Alright, I'm going to put this color in a couple other places. Besides on the ground buzzer. Bzzz. I think I'm going to put this manifold back here. Yeah, Mary and I have been trying to get a board game night going, but some of our local friends have been a little flaky lately. Present company excluded. Well, I mean, I guess I'll include Muir being flaky, but Muir being flaky isn't anything out of the ordinary, so... Yeah, I'd like to get a board game night going. We don't have the room to host it in our current house. So we'd have to have somebody who's willing to host the board game night. And then we have to agree on board games. And I really like the idea of a board game night. I don't like the thought of having to figure out the logistics of a board game night. So. You have the room, your friends are just lame. Yeah, because we've got Gloomhaven, we've got several of the, Mansions of Madness or whatever. I think that's the ones we got. I don't know. There's a lot of board games, like non-Monopoly, sorry, games like that, because I don't find kids board games to be particularly fun, and that's what most of those are. Do some more true metallic on here before we start the Trail at House on the Hill. That's what it is. Let's see. Cover. Yeah, cover. Because if we're gonna have copper patina, we gotta have copper. So let's shake this bad boy up a little bit more. Vortex go burr. Yeah, I mean, thing with Gloomhaven, besides the fact that it is a very expensive game, is you need a dedicated, this game doesn't move spot. Like, you need a gaming table, essentially. Because it does take so long to play Gloomhaven. We got it at Miniature Market on clearance. They had it marked down 40% because the box was damaged. Oh, back abduction, babe. Yes. I don't know. I don't know why you'd think I'd say no. Back to Flamecraft. Second boat for the North American orders arrived in Long Beach last week. Maybe a bit longer before backers get their goodies. Well, that's good that they're on the same continent. Right now, anything coming from Europe is taking forever to get. And I'm assuming that's where that game's coming from. Production was in Asia. Well, yeah, that makes sense. That production might be in Asia. Back to game coming from Poland. Yeah, I backed... Poland sounds familiar. I may have backed something coming from Poland as well, now that I think about it. Back to Kickstarter for 3D printing. That was out of Poland. But that wasn't a game. Those were all files to print. And all of the proceeds from that went to helping Ukrainian refugees that ended up in Poland. There's nothing like being able to get a bunch of stuff for your hobby and feel pretty good about yourself at the same time. And that's what I did with that one, so. No, this was, like I said, this was 3D printing. So it was like the guy who started the Kickstarter was out of Poland, but then all of the contributors to the Kickstarter were big names in the 3D modeling world. Names where if you had a 3D printer you'd recognize, but they were like Archvillain Games and Raging Heroes and Artisan Guild. Your mom called and you missed the board game discussion? Well, don't worry, it's still ongoing, so. How is your mom? So I think this is the last detail I'm going to paint. Well, the last acrylic detail I'm going to paint, I should say. Then we're going to start on re-weathering some things. Now, I think that might be the first time that one's been played. There's a couple that have been played multiple times, but I think that's the first time that one's been played. I gotta make sure to not lick my brush while doing the oils, because those are disgusting. So because these are oils, I got to mix white spirits in with them to thin them. You can't thin, I mean, I guess you can thin some oils with water. Did I see the video of the Disneyland Spider-Man robot slamming into the side of a building? No, I clearly missed that one. So So these are cheapy Citadel brushes that I got for free that we're going to use for this. So just going to kind of dab some brown in a couple of places where I think we'd have some grime. Brown looks much better than the blue already. Especially as like a panel liner, getting in all the little crevices, because then all it really does, besides filling in those crevices and kind of darkening them up, the brown's also got a little bit of a dirty look to it. And like I said, this speeder's seen some shit, so we're kind of dirtying it up a little bit. The brown. too much up there. There, that's better. A little gunky there for a minute. Looked like you had poo on the front of your speeder. Nobody wants a poo speeder. It's seen some shit. It isn't shit. But it's an important distinction. The biggest difference between oil washes and acrylic washes is the ability to remove the wash. And that's probably the best way to put it. Yes, they do a lot of the same thing, but once an acrylic wash is dry, it's on there. If I come back tomorrow and go, oh, there's too much of it in that spot, I put a little white spirit on this guy and I wipe it off. That's the biggest difference between the two. Alright, enough of that. Now we need some verdigris. Almost in the wrong spot. Almost dipped that in the water, which, I mean, whatever, that'd have been fine, but it wouldn't have been great. Did it again. All right. Old rust and standard rust. Need to get off my headphones. Oh yeah, 8:21. I think we're making good time. Let's see. We'll use this guy. Yeah. What? Some of that's being a little blotchy. We're going to wait till that dries. We're going to shift gears back to acrylics and do the windows. Yeah, I don't think I've used an acrylic wash since I've started doing oil washes. One, there's so many more colors in oils, like just straight out of the tube. So many more colors. Two, pound for pound, they're cheaper. Now, there are some oils that are significantly more expensive than acrylics, but you're not going to use those for washes anyway, right? You're not going to use cadmium yellow as a wash. That's just not a wash color. But the browns, the blacks, they're just, you get so much more. You can also, it's also easier to control the consistency of the wash as far as how thin or how thick you want it with oils, because you're literally making the wash, right? You're putting paint in a tray and then hitting it with white spirits, which, all things considered, white spirits are fairly cheap. You know, I bought I don't know how big this thing of white spirits that I got at Michael's was, but, you know, it's pretty much, it's 32 ounces, and I use it, you know, a dropper full at a time. So there it is. There she is. A little bit more I'm going to do, because actually I don't know if I'm going to put any pigment powder on it. I mean, it looks pretty nice as is. I'll remove some of the oil wash tomorrow once it dries a bit, but other than that, Nev, as soon as this is dry, I'm sending it to you. So, yeah, there you go. Here is your Airspeeder. It has definitely seen some shit. Get that out of the way. I'm glad you like it. I hope you like it when you get it in the mail too. Like I said, that's all going to depend. What am I stuck on? I'm stuck on myself. Hold on. That's all going to depend on how quickly the oil dries, but the oil should dry pretty quick. So, yeah. 4 nights 2.5 roughly hours a night. So, and that doesn't include the time that I spent off camera. So you got about, I said 10 to 20 hours. This was about a 12-hour, maybe 15-hour paint job. So yeah, I've probably got half an hour of touching up with the white spirits tomorrow, you know, to kind of clean it up a little bit. But yeah, you know what? Let's yep, that's reset. So let's take a picture and I'll send it to so I can send it to Nevin. Try and get a close-up of that that love is love. I touched that up a little bit, but I'll touch that up in the morning once things dry. So yeah. We still got bourbon to drink though, so you have some fellow leftists at work that don't even game that are eagerly... All right, well, you know what? I'm going to post it. I'm going to send it to you on Discord. And then we're going to sit here and drink bourbon for a little bit because, I mean, I still got time. And yes, Sexy Mome is next. Send. All right, Nev, love you too. You have a good night at work. Stay safe. I'm going to sit here and drink some bourbon and chat with whoever is still on. So, you have that in Discord, by the way. So yeah, you know, Nevin won the raffle, and this is what he chose, and this is his paint job. So yeah, I'm really happy. So that was my first time ever using the chipping medium. That came out great. I love this color. I wish this tube wasn't so shiny so you could actually see it, but this verdigris color, you can see it on the, you can see it under the copper there. It looks exactly like the color of oxidized copper. So first real freehand, I should say, on the between the Love is Love, the Pride flag, and the caution tape, for lack of a better term. Yeah, chipping medium is gonna have a place in my arsenal, especially as I paint like the Necrons and stuff like that. I've got a bunch of terrain I need to paint. It worked really well for what I wanted it to do, and it had exactly the effect that I wanted. So, very happy. So yeah, all in all, I'm very pleased with this. You know, and tonight was the perfect example of what I always say, which is if you're not happy with the way something looks, hey Nerd Holla, if you're not happy with the way something looks, it's only plastic and paint. Just repaint it. And I am 1,000 times happier with where this is now than I was with where it was when I sat down. So, getting rid of all of that blue for brown, you know, fixing the cockpit, so that it actually shows it actually shows the purple. Yeah, I'm very pleased. I did notice while taking pictures that I need to get into that Love is Love a little bit, that there was apparently a little bit of peeling of the masking tape, so I got a little bit of pink I need to touch up. Yeah, other than that, I'm very, very pleased. I hope Nevin is going to be as pleased when he gets this in the mail in a couple of days. So yeah, that's the Airspeeder. So next week we start painting Sexy Mome. So I have I think it's a 72 millimeter, might be even bigger than that, scale model. It is essentially it's a sexy tiefling with two giant dogs. And in the D&D campaign that Mermeri and I are in, her character is a tiefling with two big dogs. So yeah, we're going to be painting that. We're going to start that next week. A lot of skin, so I got to mentally prepare for the amount of skin that I'm going to have to paint. But I think Mome's blue, so Travis, I dye a lot of disc golf discs. I mean, we do a lot of custom dyes. I don't have my bag down here, otherwise I would show you. But Mermeri and I dye. I mean, we bought a food dehydrator specifically to dye disc golf discs. So yeah, maybe you can check those. I think I've got them on my Instagram, which is the same as my Twitch. It's Parko the Viking. If not, I'll toss a couple of the ones that I've dyed up there. But yeah, I don't have the setup to do spin dyeing on discs because I use my record player for records. But I do the dip dye, and we've probably dyed 3 or 4 dozen discs between the two of us. So yeah, after Mome, I've got some scatter terrain that I'll be painting up. That'll be one stream, because that's 99% of that's going to be done with the airbrush, because scatter terrain is easy. Yeah, so I do not have my discs on Insta. Well, I'll definitely have to put my discs on Instagram. So, and then after the scatter terrain, I'm open. So I'm open for commissions. I'll hydrate with some bourbon. How's that? So yeah, I'm open for commissions. Otherwise, it's going to be some combination of Warhammer and D&D stuff that I'm painting, because that's what I enjoy painting. Yeah, I've got some Chaos Space Marines. I've got a shit ton of Ultramarines. I've got a bunch of Sisters of Battle. Yeah, there you go, Travis. You can check out the discs that Mermeri's dyed on her Instagram, which she just posted. What else do I have? I got a crap ton of Necrons I got to paint. I've got some high-end Ultramarines. Like I've got a Ultramarine Librarian I've got to paint. So we'll be doing that over the next couple of weeks. But unless you've got something that you really, really want to see me paint, you can message me on Instagram or Twitter. They're both Parko the Viking. Yeah, you can DM me either place. Let me know if there's something you want to see me paint. Like I said, I am also open to commissions. I've got a 3D printer, so I can print pretty much anything. So yeah. Let's see if I can... I don't want to cut the stream short just because I'm done painting, but I don't have any of the cool stuff. I don't think I have any of the cool stuff installed down here as far as like stream raiders or anything else. So a friend of mine's asking for a beer can for scale on this. I don't have a beer can, but I'll send him a picture with the dram in the background. So anyway, so does anybody have anything that they want to chat about? TV, movies, any suggestions for what can be painted? I am open. This little community is as much you guys as it is me. So I know I joke around all the time about, you know, wanting to hit a certain number of subscribers. I mean, look, I do. I want to, but this is never going to be my job. I'm never going to be able. I'll never be able to quit working and Twitch full time. But I do appreciate the feedback. I love every single one of you. It's why I'm here. I wouldn't be... Well, I would need a lot of subscribers to quit my job. I think I need so many subscribers that I would be one of the bigger mini painting Twitch channels in order to quit my job. So, I mean, we're talking bigger than Brush for Hire, and that's not going to happen. So, but yeah, I enjoy just hanging out with you guys, sitting here, painting minis, drinking bourbon. So, if any of you have suggestions of what you'd like to see painted, just let me know. You know, I'm going to paint no matter what, but if I can keep you guys entertained, then that's worth it. So there are only a couple of things that I would say would be off limits as far as the painting. You know, this is not going to become a pin-up painting channel. I am overtly political, but the channel's not. So, you know, nothing racist or anything like that. But other than that, if you find a model on my mini factory that you think looks cool and you think would be cool to paint, man, drop me a DM, tell me here, shoot me on Instagram. I'm a programmer. I'm on the computer all day. You can always get in contact with me somehow. So I do paint the pinup type because you want them. I don't know. I feel weird painting them sometimes. I know you guys can't really see it, but I spilled some dry pigment and went to wipe it. Now it looks like I got a skid mark on my desk. We'll just move that back down there. I don't know why I tried to wipe it. I'll be changing the sheet thing for the next stream. Alright, well, if nobody has anything to want to talk about, nobody has any suggestions for what you want to see painted next, then I guess I will go ahead and end the stream a little bit early. Let's see if there's... I got it all over my hand now. Let's see if there's anybody that we can raid. I'm going to assume since we just got some baby dragon minis. Ooh. Baby dragon minis sound fun. Yeah, Drenyari, you're welcome. Yeah, I love how the speeder turned out too. I hated the speeder when it was super blue. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I look like I've been, thumbing Iron Man too. I hated what this thing looked like when it was blue. I'm so much happier with it now. Let's see who's online. I don't know what that means, but apparently my video on demand storage settings are changing on the 1st. I don't see that anybody's really on and painting. So I guess we'll go to Wombat Combat Prime. I will not touch anything until I wash my hands. So... Alright guys, well, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for joining me over the last several weeks as I painted up the Airspeeder. You guys are great. I will be back maybe tomorrow night with Friday Night Frights. Otherwise, I will definitely be back on Sunday doing some video game streaming, and then next Thursday as we start painting Sexy Mome. Thank you very much for joining me, and we're going to go raid Wombat